undaunted by the driving rain, a sea of faces awaited at the Palisados airport the arrival of a living legend. To some, he was the King of Kings, the Lion of Judah, even a god. But to most, he was a mild-mannered monarch who had won the respect and admiration of Jamaicans. The air was charged with excitement as anxious, expectant faces searched the skies for the first glimpse of the great silver bird that would bring their hero to Jamaican soil for the first time. Members of a local cult, the Rastafarians, who were easily distinguished by their long beards and unshorn locks, and who worshipped this figure as a deity, were present in full force. The most rousing, boisterous, tumultuous welcome ever given to any visiting or local celebrity, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, Emperor of Ethiopia, arrived. The crowd erupted into a frenzy of rejoicing as they broke through the lines of soldiers and police and surged out onto the tarmac, eager to engulf the emperor with their affection. The ceremonial welcome that was planned had to be abandoned as the avalanche of men, women, and children swept away all semblance of order.
Oh, yes, blessed love. Give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. My family, it is wonderful to see you again. Give thanks. I know a couple of days has passed, but we're here in the Tiger's Nest. Of course, let me say blessed love to all of those who were with us. I'm talking about Saturday evening. Let me find it there for you. Oh, man, we had a wonderful session. Chalice in Wonderland. And listen, if you were not there, you have no idea. In fact, let me say something before I go too far. All of the faithful ones that were in the Tiger's Nest Saturday evening for Chalice in Wonderland, I myself, I gotta tell you, I didn't expect it to come out like that. I mean, I watched it afterwards and I said, wow, this is something else. So those of you who are there, just give those who were not there an idea of what you saw. Give them a little review. What did you think? All of the subscribers and all of the good ones who came and purchased their ticket and sat in with us Saturday evening. Let the audience understand, you know, whatever you thought. You may think it was good. You may think it was not as good. I mean, I don't think so. But let me not put no words in your mouth. Let us know what you thought of that lecture Saturday evening. 2 hours, we went straight there. Chalice in Wonderland. I must say, that was one of the more you know, fulfilling lectures, I must say, that I've ever done anywhere. I really enjoyed that. Just unraveling it, oh, it was something else. But anyway, let me just make it clear that you could still definitely see the lecture. Once I've been asking me how they could get a copy. It's still there on the site, our webinar site. So you could still get a ticket. You could still purchase your ticket. It's just that it's not going to be live. Obviously, the experience of it being live, you can ask questions, we can interact, is much better. But you could still get the full, you know, academics and the unraveling of the mystics with this one. So don't be afraid. You could still contact me. You could email me right now, priestisaac27@gmail.com. You know, you don't even have to email me. You could just send the finance to the Cash App, which is Atanora2723. Of course, you know, the link is always in the description for the Cash App for whatever the case is. So you could just press it and go straight to it, send the $20 United States currency, then contact us and we will send you the link right away. So you don't have to wait to watch it. You could just watch it right away. It's right there waiting for you to watch it. Chalice in Wonderland, a very, very upful presentation. And I'm very thankful for all of those who were there. Now, even before we go into the midst of it this evening, of course, you know, just in case those of you that are watching have no idea, but we are definitely offering the chalwa. This is Chalice Talk, eh? This is a special edition of Chalice Talk that we are doing today. In fact, we are celebrating the 21st day of April. That's what you were seeing at the beginning there. You know, that day, chalices were burning underneath the plane. Eh? Enough chalices, enough cups were lighting off. Eh? Yeah, so definitely we are celebrating the chalice. And of course, you know, you could definitely get your chalices from us, the different levels of the chalices. Let me give you a proper view, man, so you can see what's going on here. And of course, you know, the chalices specifically, come on, what's going on exactly. You have the different sizes. Look at this little one here. Look at this little bit here. Say, wow, that's a nice, neat chalice. You think so? It is. But this is even smaller. These are the calabash chalices. And of course, you know, the original coconut chalice as well at the same time. But let me tell you straight off, the calabash chalices, don't mind the size. They're very rare. And they definitely, you have to, you know, they're in demand. Let's put it that way. Nice and neat, nice, neat chalice. Now, chalice is not an ornament, you know. Don't just take it and put it on the cabinet. You got to utilize it and praise far right. So you definitely get your chalice, of course, with your kutchie as well. Different sizes of the kutchie, but this is a nice, neat one. Definitely, you know what to do. You contact us. In fact, let us show you there. Of course, let me see. You know, when the king came to Jamaica in 1966, let us just show you this one here.
Soldiers and police and surged out onto the tarmac, eager to engulf the emperor with their affection.
So for those who don't know, this is when Haile Selassie came to Jamaica in 1966, the 21st day of 21st day of April. So as you can see, as the narrator said, never before was there such a presence of people to greet anyone coming to Jamaica, and that has never happened again like such.
The ceremonial welcome that was planned had to be abandoned.
The ceremonial welcome that was planned had to be abandoned, man.
As the avalanche of men, women, and children swept away all semblance of order.
And the avalanche of men, women, and children swept away, as he put it, all semblance of order. But what is order? This is order here. Giving praises to the Most High. See the chalices here. This king have a chalice and this king have a chalice. The rubber hose on. Check the vibes out. This one, this elder here has his. This elder has his. So it was something. It was a spectacle. Something to definitely observe. Like, wow, in the presence of the King of Kings. Here we have the Rastafari there with their chalices under the plane. Man, even if you pull up to a gas station, you see the sign, no smoking. You're under a plane, not with a cigarette, but with chalice. When you're burning chalice, sometimes sparks does be flying here, there, and everywhere. And you had the ancient Rastafari there, standing up for niggas. As it said, all the barricades and all the police, everyone had to push us, move aside. The king never seen nothing like that yet. And keep in mind, the emperor passed through Barbados and spent a moment with them. The emperor went through Trinidad on an official state visit. In fact, just yesterday, I was on a conference meeting. I'm so thankful I had a moment to spend. It was basically with the Nyabingi family. I don't think I picked up any Bobo Shanti in that at all. It was about 100 of us there. Bongo wisely sent me the invitation and I went in. Many ones were there. Bongo, Greece, and these ones from Trinidad was given a very good outline of the emperor's visit in 1966 when he went to Trinidad. I think that was on the 19th of April, because we tend to forget that part of it. Yeah, that was a very important visit, and it had a lot to do with encouraging, many of us who rose up in Rastafari in Trinidad at that time, going to Barbados, the same thing. Even Elder Colin Harper, an individual I hope to have on the program, chemist, within Rastafari order. Even he showed me of himself as a little child and seeing the emperor in '66 when he came to Barbados, and that was like an encouragement for him as well. And even yesterday I mentioned on that very same conference call, I couldn't stay for the whole of it. I didn't even know of it until I got the invitation. But I also mentioned that, even here, as Antigua has always been an international hub, it is said that on the way to Jamaica, the airplane had to stop in Antigua. It wasn't no state visit. It wasn't no kind of visit as such. It's just that the plane had to land here and then go. Now, when you understand the weight of this matter here, the weight, when you understand the weight of the situation, I mean, there are places on the planet that I've never been to, but I've been to in the sense that I was in a plane that landed in the plane, or landed on the island or the country. Maybe I came off of the plane just to catch another flight. I was at the airport, but I never visited the country itself. So in a sense, maybe I've never been to, let's just say, Cuba. Maybe I've never been to, I'm just going to call a country randomly, Iran. But the plane landed in Iran. And I was on the plane, I was in Iran. And then it took off. I was there for 20 minutes. So technically I was there, but maybe the passport doesn't show I was there, So you could look at it all sort of different ways. Now, the reason why I went through all of that there is to highlight the weight of the visit of 1966. This is very important. Every year we celebrate this. And then actually, to be honest, sitting into the conference yesterday and hearing the brothers from Trinidad, even the brother from Barbados, I can't remember his name. But anyway, sorry for that. But listening to how, the people in Barbados and especially Trinidad took the visit of the emperor, and Tobago too. Let me highlight Tobago. You got a level of appreciation for that visit. And I must say, if I could have received the recording of that, or in some way get in touch with those very same brothers, that they could even come on the mystic vibration and speak to the audience about that visit of Haile Selassie to Trinidad, that would be very, very, very good. But of course, being it's so important, because the subject tonight, I know some of you say, "Oh wait, it's not about that we're talking about." Hey, we get there. How much time you have? You busy doing something? You have to spend a moment with me. All right. They say no. Quick run and come and fly, and no, we have something to explain, and it's going to go deep tonight. Definitely. So just make up your mind, and it's Chalice Talk. This is how we do it on Chalice Talk. If nobody ever told you, we take our time and move on Chalice Talk. I have a few more videos I want to show you tonight. We're going to have a wonderful time. So we just began. I don't even think we started this yet. So the fact that the plane would have landed here in Antigua before it went to Jamaica, it's not something to overlook or underlook, especially when you understand the weight of the little land, Antigua, Anu, ancient and modern. You definitely can't just pretend as if you didn't hear what I said, because as I said, I did comment on it yesterday. I didn't stay for the whole meeting, but for the moment I was there, I didn't hear anyone really comment on the post that I put up. But I think it's a very important point. And if I alone have to defend that point, I'm going to defend that point, that the emperor came to Antigua before he went to Jamaica. Remember, this is the portal, This is the Stargate. We talk about that all the time. So since we are in the business of unraveling mysteries, I think I don't see nothing wrong with us taking up that challenge as well. And it has already been unraveled, definitely. But anyway, as we go into the program this evening more, we'll get into it. So the point is, get your chalice. Yeah, get the ancient tools of the Rastafari for sure. As I said, you could definitely order it by contacting us. You don't know how to do that, you email us, priestisaac27@gmail.com. Yeah, that's priestisaac27@gmail.com. And of course, just give us the information where you are in the world. We'll give you, the information on exactly the different type of shipping that is available. And of course, you definitely will receive your chalwa, your chalice in such time. And hopefully you could sit with us and full joy our uplifting spirit on Chalice Talk right here in the Tiger's Nest. So I'm definitely looking forward to each and every one, getting their cup and sipping with us. This is a Chalice revolution. And that is why you need to see Chalice in Wonderland. Anyone that's serious about the Chalice, no, I ain't playing around. Anyone that's serious about even meditation and herbs and all of that talk, you need to see Chalice in Wonderland. I mean, listen, man, you need to see. This is doctor's orders here. If you're the doctor, you can't pretend that you're not the doctor. So if I'm the doctor here, as they call it, I'm not a doctor as such. I'm not a medical physician. I'm just using it as a metaphor. If I'm the physician here, I am telling you, I'm prescribing the Chalice lecture that we did Saturday night for you. I mean, there's so many things that we do that's available, and we don't even push it that hard. But I'm telling you, you need to see this one. You see, a lot of ones think that it's a joke lecture because it's cartoon. That's what those who created it wanted you to think. So you'll be totally blind. So anyway, what we're going to do this evening here, we are going to be speaking about the science of the Buddha and Rastafari. That is really what we're going to be talking about. And we're going to show you within the mystics of the cosmos that Haile Selassie is the Buddha, or of the Buddha order. The Buddha spirit and the Buddha prophecy is fulfilled in him. The very same thing is said of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, said by me personally. I'm not speaking for, I'm telling you straight, I'm not speaking for the world of Bobo Shanti, because many ones disagree with even what I'm saying here. It's all right, but I'm just telling you what I know to be the fact, that the science of the Buddha, again, you could be crying saying, the Buddha never exists. That's not what I'm talking about. The science of the Buddha philosophy and the energy that it carries, and that of reincarnation and coming again, and that science of holiness is exhibited in the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. And again, the prophecy of the Buddha, the return of the Buddha amongst us. The Buddha is Marcus Messiah Garvey, and that is obviously well aligned and well perfectly in tune with our science of the prophet and the priest and the king. So I am asking you to just be patient with your good brother and Tiger with me. Sometimes we say bear with me, but this is the Tiger's Nest. So please, Tiger with me. And what we will be doing, I'll be presenting to you a documentary, just about maybe 15 minutes of it. Many of you would have seen it. I think that the original title is the gods of Asia, or the gods of Buddhism, but it's on the YouTube under several names. I think I see it a couple of times on there. It's a documentary that was done in the either the late 1980s or very early 1990s, like 1990 itself. So you could see the quality of it as well. And this documentary now goes into the Black origins of Buddhism, listen to me good, and the Buddha. And it goes into the Buddha returning in this modern time. So the producer and narrator of the documentary takes his time to pull his sources to prove to the audience, which will be you now, where, how he came by that comprehension or that conclusion that the Buddha is black and the Buddha is African, and the Buddha will return in this modern day time. So we're going to go into that right now. If you have never seen this, you'll thoroughly enjoy it. I've had this video for years. We used to have it on the VHS cassette stuff, for those who know what that is. So we're talking a long time ago, 20 something years ago. The VHS is an old video, and then somehow came across it on a DVD, and then maybe I was absent from the video for a while, because the thing with me, family, as they would say back in the days, I would, I was known for having documentaries, almost every documentary of the emperor, all these things you see on YouTube now, we had these documentaries first in cassettes, then in DVDs. When it came to the DVD stuff, oh man, when you could rack them up, man, I had everything Asher Kwesi, everything from Phil Valentine, everything from almost everybody. I'm telling you the truth. So knowledge has always been something I was always seeking out. Any book I could get. Yeah, man, that was the scene. So I'm saying that to show you this is a documentary that we are well accustomed to. And it has found itself on YouTube now. So it's there for your watching. And we're going to present. It's about almost 2 hours long, but I think I'm going to present about 15 to 20 minutes of it in sections, the things that I would really like to highlight to you. So let me just find it. Remember now, this is Chalice Talk. That's what's going on here. So we definitely elevating as we go and taking this to another level. All right.
The art, science, music, literature, drama, the whole culture, particularly the religion of all the people of Asia, can be traced directly to the Africans of Asia. India, Japan, China, just to name a few. Even Afro-American history can be traced directly to the Africans of Asia. I know it sounds strange to you, but the world owes a debt to the Africans of Asia. In the following presentation, you'll find out exactly why. Just give me a few seconds. Your ancestors never intended to let you down. In this book, called The Gods of Northern Buddhism, we find a name, the Asian name of the supreme deity of the universe. His name is Sambo. They say when nothing else was, Sambo was the name of the God of the universe to the people of Asia. And there are many places that carry this name. This is a depiction of Sambo. This is not an African statue. This is from Asia. And many places in Asia are called Sambo Judasia, the land of the descendants of Sambo. Various spellings of the word and the name Sambo can be found throughout Asia. Negas, the divine people of Buddhism. This is a 2nd century depiction of Gautama the Buddha being given his first bath by the divine people of Buddhism called Negas. A tribe in Asia called Negas, the divine people of all the people of Asia, symbolized throughout Asia by the serpent or the dragon. That is their symbol. The Nega means serpent or dragon, the snake, found at the entrance of every temple. The Nega on the roads, on the hills, in the caves, the symbol of the Asiatic black man, the tribe called the Negas, the divine people. There are cities also throughout Asia that carries this particular name, Nega. It can be seen at all ceremonies dealing with worship of God. From the Nile Valley to the Indus Valley, on tombstones, a symbol of immortality because of the serpent's ability to change his skin is a sign of never dying, and is used throughout the planet Earth, North, South America, Egypt, Asia, Africa, throughout the world. It's the symbol of life after death, the nigga, the serpent. In all ancient cultures, in all ancient religions, the serpent is the symbol, the nigga, the symbol of divinity, of God. The original inhabitants of Southeast Asia was called the Mons, an African tribe. In order to confirm what these people look like, you have to go to the archaeological finds from Dabarati, a French archaeological research finding confirming the original inhabitants. There's no depictions preceding these of the original inhabitants of Southeast Asia, the people, the descendants of Sambo, the Asiatic black man. The 7 serpents or 7 rays or the negas surrounding his head represent the cosmic forces that afford him protection. He is a divine representation of cosmic forces, and those 7 serpents represent his divine mission. He does not come of his own. He's a manifestation of the cosmos. The serpents or the nega represent cosmic forces which is at his command, which represent him as a divinity. He is the manifestation of the universe. That is the symbol of those serpents you see surrounding his head. In essence, the 7 serpents are cosmological, dealing with astrology, astrological representations of those forces of the cosmos that he represents. He is a universal monarch, a universal king, which he manifests and he shows evidence of. The black man of Asia, the original inhabitants of Asia. He is a human being of flesh and blood. He comes as a teacher, as a manifestation of God. His teachings are called the Dhamma. He is called the Buddha, the intelligent one, the one who has achieved intelligence, or the genie, the conqueror. He comes to explain the laws of the universe. He comes to confirm that there is, in fact, life after death. When the Buddha appears, he appears as a preacher, and he preaches the Dhamma, that existence is a continual cycle of death and rebirth.
All right, do give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. So basically, you're getting an idea, a basic idea from the narrator there. He's just highlighting, first of all, that Buddha is a black man. I think that's the main thing. He's showing you that the Buddha, the Gautama Buddha, for those who may not understand, the concept of the Buddha really would have begun if we're going to follow the storyline from the Gautama Buddha from India. And the Gautama Buddha, who is said to exist some 500 years or so BCE. And the Gautama Buddha was born into a royal family, and as a prince should have become a king, but decided to go the way of the monkhood, and eventually came to that Buddha consciousness, that enlightenment under that bobo tree, or some say the Bodhi tree, or at the same time reaching that Christ-like level. Really, it's the same thing. The Christ-like level, the Christhood and the Buddhahood as such, is basically that anointing. So that's in a nutshell the Gautama Buddha story. Some would say that, of course, that the Buddha was not a real character and he didn't really exist. Some will say, well, yes, someone really existed, but the allegory that surrounds the story of him, should not be taken as literal as it comes to you. Because, a lot of these ancient characters, they had a lot of visions, and they would have been carried up to the different heavens and so many different things. Some people will tell you, what's the story with Buddha? That the white elephant came with the lotus flower and impregnated his mother, Maya. So from just that alone, a person will tell you, okay, well, now, come on, that can't be a true story. Now, maybe a white elephant didn't really come and impregnate the Buddha's mother, Gautama Buddha, but that does not necessarily take away the reality of his existence. And the white elephant, the science of the white elephant as a God figure, it could be nothing more than the spirit of that God, that principle would have embodied his father. And that's how the allegory is written. Those who are, regular to the tiger's nest, you understand that for sure. That's how the allegory is written. So don't be just quick to throw away the baby with the bath water. But at the same time, though, the concept is still real and we're not losing track of it. And what the narrator is saying for sure, it is an African tradition and an African concept. And in fact, what he's saying really, Buddha is an African man. So I'm just going to continue here. I'm going to skip a bit of this and go to another aspect of this video. And he's clearly showing you that the Buddha shall return in this modern day time. So you could basically look for him. All right, let's continue from here. Let's give it about 7 or so more minutes. And then we get into the reasoning full.
These people, the black people of Asia, predicted or prophesied what they would do 2,500 years into the future. The prophecy states that he would send something from the past and join it with something from the future, something from the material world and join it with something from the spiritual world. The union of both the past and the future worlds and the spiritual and the material worlds would be contained in the revelation of a secret mystic diagram called the Mandela of two parts.
I want you to take note of that. The Mandela, you got Mandela of two parts. The Mandelas are very, very popular in that part of the world. So his source now is highlighting. He's highlighting the Mandela or the Mandela of two parts to show the prophecy of the upcoming Buddha. Very important point, eh?
Of both the past and the future worlds and the spiritual and the material worlds would be contained in the revelation of a secret mystic diagram called the Mandela of two parts. This is a depiction of the future Buddha who would make this manifest at a point before the end of this century. Now the scriptures of the world have all prophesied that the end of the age, which we are now entering, the age of Aquarius, we shall see the revelation of that which is secret and the emergence into the light of day of that which has hitherto been concealed and veiled. This, our present age, is that time, the end of the cycle, the beginning of the new age. This book by Ivan van Sertima raises the question of the African presence in early Asia. How did they get to Asia? This is the future Buddha. How did they get to Asia? They were called the Mons. And the wind and the rain in Asia is called the monsoon. This is the key to how they got to Asia. The monsoon wind in April blows from the southwest, and in October it blows from the northeast. The monsoon wind blows from Africa to Asia, and from Asia back to Africa. The wind from April to October blows from the southwest, and from October to April it blows from the northeast. These two trade routes and routes that of travel is the direction of the Mons, the Africans of Asia. They went from Africa to Asia and from Asia to Africa, and they were called the Mons, like the monsoon. Africa was called Hither India, which India, here I am, come hither, come here where I am. And they would get on the ocean and get in the wind. This is where the phrase get in the wind come from your previous life. The Africans of Asia got to Asia by getting in the wind. This is confirmed from the 1st century. The Greeks knew how they got to Asia, the wafting sailors. They call it the divine ship of salvation. The Mans, when they would arrive in Asia and when they would leave Asia. The Japanese badge of nobility is called a Man. The monsoon, the monastery, Mani, is identified with the black man of Asia. And the largest statues on the planet Earth located in Asia are depictions of the Buddha, the black man, the Jinnah. His hair confirms who he is. This is the largest statue in China and the largest statue on Earth depicting the black man. The oldest and largest manifestations of God, like this image of the Buddha in Thailand and Southeast Asia, are representations of the black Africans of Asia. There are no other statues or monuments of antiquity that precede them. They manifest themselves on earth and prove life after death. This from Ceylon or Sri Lanka, showing the Buddha, thousands of years old. They are the largest statues on earth representing the black people of Asia, or the black man of Asia, the one who comes back from the dead to prove immortality. They do it all the time in all the countries, and they prophesied that they would do it before the end of this century. This is the largest statue in Sri Lanka, the largest statue in China, the largest statue in India, the largest monolithic statue on earth, the genie, the one who comes back from the dead, carved in solid rock 70 feet high. The largest monolithic statue on earth is the black man, and it is not in Africa, but it is in Asia. The Asiatic black man, the manifestation of God who comes back to preach and explain the doctrine of immortality, how to escape the fires of hell. That is his sole purpose. To attack him is to attack the cosmic forces of God. He sits in Western style because he will be born in the West. The people who he will be born among are called the Negas. This is the future Buddha, the one who is to come, prove with irrefutable evidence for those with intelligence that there is no death, that life is eternal. And this evidence of eternal life is put in place by their control after death of the cosmic forces. This is a cave in India showing the one who is to come in the future. All of these statues and monuments are thousands and thousands of years old. The future Buddha, sitting down in Western style. He is known by many names in many religions. To the Christian, he's the Christ. To the Muslims, the Mahdi, the Messiah, the Avatar, Maruk Bull. To the Koreans, the Buddha, the Genie. All different names for the same individual who is to appear now at the end of the age, the beginning of the new cycle. He is also called Maitreya, the future Buddha. In this book, Maitreya, the future Buddha, you can find the prophecy of his return in 2,500 years. This prophecy identifies the time when he is to appear.
Now, this prophecy identifies the time that he is to appear. He who? The future Buddha, the Gautama from that time, the Maitreya, the future Buddha. He shall be called Maruk Bull. He just said all of that. The same Nigajuna, the Mani. So let's listen to this outline and timeline of when the future Buddha shall kick in.
It states that he will appear in 2,500 years in a tripartite year in the first year of a cycle. He will descend to be reborn, and he will produce a city of silver by transformation. He will change a city which will serve as evidence of who he is. He must produce a city by transformation. The Buddha was born in 560 BC and died in 480 BC.
I want you to hear this good. Pen and pencil, man. I want you to hear this
He will
good.
change a city, which will serve as evidence of who he is. He must produce a city by transformation. The Buddha was born in 560 BC and died in 480 BC. He received enlightenment at the age of 35, which is 525 BC. This prophecy had to have been made between 525 BC and 480 BC. If you project 2,500 years into the future, it'll come between 1975 and the year 2020. 30, 60, and 90 are tripartite.
Hold on. We're going to go over it again. Don't worry. You're going to hear it maybe 20 times. Not so much. Come on. The fulfillment must come somewhere before 1975. Interesting time. Interesting time. And 2020. Interesting time. 2020.
In the year 2020. 30, 60, and 90 are tripartite years. 1930 and 1960 is gone. The only tripartite year left is 1990.
Hold on. You got to remember this was done before 1990. So that is why the narrator is saying, pardon me, 1930 is gone. Because it was gone and it's still gone. 1960 is gone because it was gone and it's still gone. 1990 at that time wasn't gone, but it's gone now. So according to him, the prophecy of the Buddha, because it must be in a tripartite year, either 1930 for 30, 60, or 90. 369. We call it multiples of 3.
Yeah, 3 times 3. That 3 times 1 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 2.
Give thanks. So it's 30, 60, 90. So according to his outlook of this, in relation even to the book, the Maitreya Buddha, if it's not 1930 or 1960 or 1990, you know, it's somewhere along there that the Buddha is supposed to appear. And he's also seen the fulfillment of a prophecy. It would have to be between 1975 and 2020. Interesting. Now, of course, the science that comes to that, if you're going to consider the Gautama Buddha to be a real historical person, because it's from his time frame that all of this calculation is coming from. So the legitimacy of the calculation to me is good. The brother that is doing the video here is putting his little opinion in it. And I myself, I'm going to go into it soon, and you may consider what I do with it my opinion too. But let's listen to it again, so we can all use our own comprehension and judge for ourselves what's going on here.
The Buddha was born in 560 BC and died in 480 BC. He received enlightenment at the age of 35, which is 525 BC. This prophecy had to have been made between 525 BC and 480 BC. If you project 2,500 years into the future, it'll come between 1975 and the year 2020. 30, 60, and 90 are tripartite years. 1930 and 1960 is gone. The only tripartite year left is 1990. The first year of a cycle is 1991. In 1991, the future Buddha is to appear. 1991.
So from his vibes, that it's in 1991 that the future Buddha shall appear. Now 1991 has passed. I don't know, I mean, I'm sure some of you that are listening were born in 1991. You must be saying, wow, maybe I'm the future Buddha. Well, hey, maybe you are, I don't know. But what I'm just saying here is that I would expect what he's looking for is something that would be obvious at the time, because he dismissed 1960 and he dismissed 1930. So something obvious must be taking place at that time to say that, yeah, the Buddha is coming back. But it was 1990 when this documentary was done, so he was sure. And the book, The Maitreya Buddha, yeah, I'm with him, the author of this book, so we're looking for him. No, it's not anything. Many ones have given a lot of prophecies. I remember I have some brethren that follow Dr. Malachi York, and I clearly remember there was a time, it was not the 2012, it was, I think it's 2000, the year 2000, when on the 5th of May, when the planets were to align. And it was this idea that that was it for us. Yeah, man, I clearly remember my brethren was on his way home and he said, brother, I'm not gonna see you again, you know, and some guy talk. Yeah, I can remember that. And I still see the brother up to today. You know, even many academics in their different subject areas of theology and prophecy have written down prophecies and expect them to go this way and that way, and it has gone that way. It doesn't mean that the material that they put together was wrong, but maybe the formula was wrong for sure. There was this saying I could remember, Ella was showing me that there was this big thing that Africa would be free in 1983. And Peter Tosh sang that in a song, Africa must be free by 1983. And a lot of ones took that extremely serious. As if, yeah, that prophecy will fulfill. So I'm just saying it's obvious that I don't think 1991 would have been the year of that return of the Buddha. Not unless the Buddha would have been born in that year or something, no, whatever the case is. But anyway, before I go into that, let's continue to hear what the brother is saying. Just give it about 2 more minutes or so, 2-3 minutes the most, and then we.
In Angkor in Southeast Asia, we find the city of the future Buddha, hidden from the outside world for thousands of years and discovered by the French in 1858. It was hidden in the jungle by fig trees. This is the city designated to confirm the future Buddha. This city was hidden because of the banyan tree.
So he's talking about Angkor. Let's just be clear. Angkor. We have Angkor Wat, Angkor Thom. You have the structures, the facial structures, and of course the glyphic writings of the prophecies of the transatlantic slave trade, really. And in fact, although I wouldn't be going into all of that, this documentary here, this video itself, gives a good rundown on that if you have the time to watch the whole of it.
A tree that starts in the sky. Birds drop because 1858 from the core in Southeast Asia, 1991. In Angkor in Southeast Asia, we find the city of the future Buddha, hidden from the outside world for thousands of years and discovered by the French in 1858. It was hidden in the jungle by fig trees. This is the city designated to confirm the future Buddha. This city was hidden because of the banyan tree, a tree that starts in the sky. Birds drop their seeds from the sky on the leaves of existing trees. The branches spread out horizontally and then grows down, covering everything beneath it. The tree is worshipped throughout Asia. It's called the tree of God. It is the only tree that starts in the sky and comes down. Here you see it written that one tree covered 20,000 people. It is the most unusual tree on earth. It's the fig tree, the banyan tree, the tree that hid a 36-mile wide city in the jungle for thousands of years. This is the tree of God. Here it is explained that the tree spreads indefinitely and it is not known to die. It's the tree of immortality. It is the most famous tree in Asia, the banyan tree, the tree of God. This is an artist's depiction of the city of the future Buddha, a city of stone, a stone Bible of the religious teachings of the Africans of Asia. This is the entrance to the temple called Angkor Thom. An 8-mile perimeter covers the city. This picture shows you how the tree starts in the sky and the roots come down, covering that face which you see. Those are roots from the tree which
I think it's obvious that the face you could see, it looks like an ancient Rastaman. But anyway, we're going to get to all of that. Let the brother conclude this here. Just a few more seconds.
Started in the sky, covering the face of on a tower. There are 50 towers in this city with faces of the future Buddha. This is a close-up on the future Buddha's face with the roofs, which started in the sky and came down to cover it. The fig tree. This is a picture of that particular city, a map showing you the 36-mile perimeter. And there's a 7-mile perimeter around this city of Angkor Thom. This is the city which we will focus on, the Bayonne, the central temple of Angkor Thom.
Now, Bayonne, central city of Angkor Thom. You know, let me just highlight one more thing. This is just, I don't even think this is a minute. I think it's very important, and then we can get it.
From Africa. This city is a book of Revelation and Apocalypse in stone. It is discovered by the one they call Maruk Bull, the future Buddha. He discovers and unveils the true meaning of this city. This is in the religious teachings of the people of Asia. He uses a city carved in stone, the true book of Revelation, the Apocalypse, the book of Revelation, which will be discovered and explained. And we will now take you to the true history of the United States of America and their slaves to identify the truth carved in stone thousands of years before it happens about
very, very interesting vibration. All right, as I said, we definitely give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie first, in all good doings, and say, all right, let me just share this. All right, perfect. So that was a very nice, meditation and rendition there. The gods of Asian Buddhism. And of course, the brother would have showed his reference points differently, even quoted from the great Ivan van Sertima. All right, I want to go through some of what he said quickly. Remember, we're talking about, and we are celebrating the 21st day of April. We're talking about Abraham met Melchizedek. There's so many things, man. We could be here for hours upon hours upon hours. But what I'm highlighting tonight is coming straight to the 21st day of April, because we're talking about the ancient Buddha tradition. So what he was speaking about is Buddha returning. It's not religion. This is a mystic science that you see us deal with here. That science that some people call theology or the mystics. I'm telling you straight, what we do in the mystic vibrations for decades now is unravel the mysteries. Straight up, that is what Jah has blessed us to do, amongst other things. Straight up. So the Buddha now, the Gautama Buddha, what the brother is saying, rightly so, is that this is an ancient Black African tradition. I know a lot of my Pan-African brothers and sisters do not like to hear that sort of expression. And this is why, I must give thanks to our good brother Ronoko Roshidi, who to me, more than anyone else, has been on the front line when it comes to, teaching us of the ancient African presence in this part of the world. Speaking of the so-called Far East and even in South and Central America. So in reality, no need to run around it. No need to get caught up in any sort of color talk. It's just history that we are portraying, as I said before, that the Africans never really preached the color of God as such. And of course, as we are the originator of the concept, when we portrayed it in human form, it was always us, Black man and Black woman. We understood that from creation. It was nothing to be ashamed of. And others came along and they began, according to history, they began to portray their deity like ours, but somehow they just changed it into how they look. We never even had a problem with that. But then when they started to enforce it on us now, you know what I mean? So when the Greeks came in, let us be clear here. When the Greeks came in, as the flower said to Alice in Chalice in Wonderland, as the flower said, "Let me be blunt here." That's what she said. No, bluntly speaking. To put it bluntly, you're a weed. That's what she tell Alice. Man, go watch the movie, man. In fact, you should watch the lecture. To put it bluntly, blunt, eh? You're a weed. That's what she told Alice. The flower told her that. But that's a next level altogether. Yeah. But if you want to say to be blunt, then to be straight, when the Greeks came into ancient Africa and we taught them of the ancient concept of creation, remember Zeus and a lot of these gods were originally black, you know, and that's just what it is. They may have changed the name to Zeus and give me a next Greek god there, Athena or whoever, you know what I mean? But they were black, the black Athenas. Very good answer too. But then somewhere along the line, they decided to say, hey, listen, let's make our gods look like us. We never even kicked up. We didn't have a problem with that. Hey, the Greeks are painting the gods white. All right, well, no problem. As Marcus said, if you want to look through it, you know, your eye spectacles, fair enough. But then all of a sudden they started to impose it on us now and say, hey, this is how it looks, you know, this is the real one. You have the fake one. It's pagan there. So then all of a sudden we had to get on the defense. It's defense mode going on here. So we had to specify to you that no man, the Buddha is black and Krishna is an African. No, he was born in India. It's all right, all of that. You know, that engulfs the concept, the African concept that we're talking about. In fact, if you go to your Bible now in the book of Esther, the Eastern Star, if you look in the book of Esther, the first chapter, the first verse, it tells you that the kingdom of Ethiopia went as far as to India. Just comprehend that. The kingdom of Ethiopia went as far as to India. And whether you believe in Bible or not, history can prove this too. This is history that we're dealing with, the Kushite Empire. That is why the Kish and the Kush term is used a lot, even in the Indian culture. In fact, our great scholar himself and scientist, Sheikh Anta Diop, clearly showed us in From Barbarism to Civilization that it was 18,000 years ago that what became the Indian man came out of the Hindu Kush mountains. So you see the term Kush there again. So even how this brother is highlighting the Negus people, you see we use that term up to today. Even in the Caribbean, we use that term, nigger people. Well, nigger people, nigger and negro and nigger and all of these different things, you know, the niggers. So the nigger now, or the nigger people, as he said, the people of the serpent, is the same, the king is the nigger. Just like the king of Ethiopia is the negas, the negus and negas, and all of these different things. It's the same word from the same origin, because why? They are the same people, you know. So when we understand the history itself and you know, the ancient art, that is why he's highlighting the Buddha has always been portrayed as being black. And you have to defend this, because by the time you go to sleep and wake up, I mean, the Buddha is polka dot and checkered and plaid and all sorts of different shades and hue. But then you lose the rich history that belongs to you. A lot of the history really, you know, that is being expressed, give thanks for that which is etched in stone, really belongs to the Africans. I know some of you, I don't want to be disrespectful, man. I'm saying it from my heart, but some of you are very pathetic, eh? When it comes to that conversation. None of you gonna make me hush when it comes to defending my black self. Eh? Don't be telling me nothing about, oh, Rasta talking about colorism and colorism. Go and put your head in a bucket, yo. No one in the world go make me stop defending my black culture. I was watching this so-called Egyptian parade the other evening when they moved 22 of our ancient kings and queens from the museum in Cairo to the other museum they had in the other place. And it was a beautiful spectacle, I must say. In fact, we did a whole shock of our program, our radio program. We did a program on it. And what we were emphasizing on the shock of the hour is that they were clearly showing you that this history has nothing to do with the known Africans. This is an Arabian history. Even the narrator of the documentary that we were highlighting, that was highlighting that event, he was saying that Egyptians all over the world, wherever they may be, because they may be in exile. He ain't talking about me and you. He's talking about the Egyptians in Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. So obviously there would be some level of Egyptians that would have gone to these places for whatever reason. You know how it goes in Egypt. And he was specifying to them that they should be proud of their ancient history that they've kept alive up to today. Okay? So when you keep your mouth on these subject areas, that is how the Buddha obviously becomes an Indian. And the Olmec becomes something else. And Hannibal becomes white. Beethoven, you were telling me about Beethoven the other day.
He was a black mulatto.
Beethoven, at least. But man, they rub out everything. Not even mulatto pass it. Just give them a couple of years and you'd never know Michael Jackson had anything to do with the Negro race. Yeah, so leave I alone. I talking what I got to say. And the Buddha is a black man. So what you consider as an Indian today, that is not the origin of Krishna. Krishna means the black one. Look at that. This is the Buddha from Thailand. Look at my mother there. Yeah. Real thing. Coming male and female too. So the Buddha got to just specify it before we move on. And we ain't getting soft on this. Whoever want to be soft, well, it's up to you. Run down ice cream. Some people like it so. But this is some hardcore truth. We're talking about this is the African tradition that has been stolen. This is one of the stolen traditions here. And we just here to reclaim it. Give thanks to the brother that even did that documentary there a moment ago. And this is proof. This is a statue of Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma is the individual that went to China, even China, man. The first set of dynasties, the Shangli dynasty, Li Shanghui, La Shangli, which one? Shangli dynasty. Black people, whoever offended, that's your business. That's just the truth. I gotta say it, so they got some weird people out there. Sometimes I wonder if they're people. That's why I gotta be careful talking about, you just, in this time, we don't need to talk about color. Who is you? I just don't want to get too far out. Give me a break. I don't have no time for foolishness. We defended what we defended. Bodhidharma is an African man, and he came from India, just to show you the state of India at the time. This is something we can prove. So this is Negajuna now. And before we even go into Negajuna, let me just highlight something there. Yeah, we go into all of that we go in there soon. Yeah. Negajuna himself. Because this is very important there. The brother mentioned Negajuna a moment ago. But before we go there, see, this is in India. Just want to highlight before we go into all of what I just showed you here. We're just showing you that even within that time, even our presence there as a people, you know, amongst this is a sultan in India, a black man. He looked like a virgin that lived down in down just behind the market there. A black man. Look how real it is. So let us not run from reality. So what I'm highlighting here now, Nigga Juna. And I have to bring that out like that so that when we go into the history of this, nobody get lost. This is an extension of our African history. This is a portrait of Nigga Juna. Who is Nigga Juna? Well, the reason why I'm bringing Nigga Juna up is because the narrator of this documentary just mentioned Nigga Juna. Okay. And he gave Nigga Juna as the title of, or one of the titles, I should say, of the Buddha that shall return. Now, I am definitely hoping that the audience got a good comprehension from that little documentary that we just watched of exactly the idea of this coming of the Buddha and exactly the science behind the return and the dates that the brother was given. He spoke of Angkor Wat and Angkor Thom. He spoke of the banyan tree, and we're going to revisit all of this before we're done. Just try to keep all of it in mind. All right, Nigga Juna, look at this, red, gold, and green. You see there? Red, gold, and green. All right. Now, Nigga Juna. Okay, I got a few things here. Let me give you, let's run through this one here. Now, this is coming from the Encyclopedia Britannica, just giving you a little thing on Nigga Juna, the Buddhist philosopher, as he is referred to as here. I hope everyone is blessed. I hope everyone is well. And I hope that this program would be a strength to you as we continue. Nigga Juna flourished 2nd century CE, or AD as many would call it. Indian Buddhist philosopher who articulated the doctrine of emptiness known as Shunyata, and is traditionally regarded as the founder of the Madhyamika Middle Way School, an important tradition in Mahayana Buddhist philosophy. That sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Princess, yes, straight from the documentary known as 7. Life and works. Very little can be said concerning his life. Scholars generally place him in South India during the 2nd century CE. Traditional accounts state that he lived 400 years after the Buddha passed into nirvana, the 5th or 4th century BCE. Some biographies also state, however, that he lived for 600 years, apparently identifying him with a second Nigga Juna, known for his tantric esoteric writings. 2 of the works attributed to Nigga Juna are verses of advice to a king, which suggests that he achieved some fame during his lifetime. Other sources indicate that he also served as abbot of a monastery, and that he was the teacher of Ayadeva, the author of an important Madhyamika text, All right, now he was one of the chief, if not the chief disciple of Nigga Juna. So we're not going to spend forever on that. We're just giving you that quick rundown really on who Nigga Juna is in the interest of time. But in Indian and for sure Buddhist philosophy, Nigga Juna is seen like a god. Nigga Juna is seen second only to the Buddha himself, the Gautama Buddha. Just going through the history of him here, you can see Nigga Juna now is an individual. First of all, he's cited in the 2nd century. Yet still he's cited in the 5th century. Some say he lived for 600 years. In fact, they consider that there were 2 Nigga Junas. And the history and the prophecy of him is similar to that of the Buddha, where he was born to be a king, but went into the monkhood and into the priesthood. you know. But now, give thanks for the documentary we just listened to. But what the brother may not, I don't know, go into, yes, the return of the Buddha is imminent. But just like the philosophy that we speak of the Trinity, the prophecy of the Buddha is that the Buddha will return, yes, but in 3 beings. And we're going to prove all of that here. This is not nothing I am making up. I did not say so. Follow me good. This is just how it is. Now, Nagarjuna, yes, is one of those returning Buddha, because Nagarjuna is supposed to return as a king. Now, the brother made mention of Maruk Bul, which is another title. And he made mention of Maruk Bul establishing a city of silver. In fact, he had that as a requirement for the upcoming Buddha, that he must establish a city of silver. We will get to the city. I want to highlight, before we go there to the city, another very important individual within the whole Buddha tradition, if you want to call it the reincarnation of the spirit of the Buddha. And this is another black brother here. This is the mighty Shantideva. These are some very interesting names. And this is why we have to take time at the beginning to clarify. This is our tradition we're talking about. We're not borrowing from somebody's tradition to try to make no, you know what I mean, make no point here. This is our tradition we are expanding on. Now, again, the good brother in the documentary brought to our attention that this tradition is speaking of something that's going to happen in this time, to the point that he even put dates to it. All right, sounds like a good discussion. So let us look into it deeper and see what sense we can get out of what he's trying to tell us. So this is real. Shantideva. Let me just read something here on Shantideva. This one, interestingly, this one was more going into bullying, a story of how Shantideva dealt with bullying. Okay, let me read this first, and then maybe I'll give you a good idea of Shantideva, whatever this may have left out. Where am I? He came, this is now, not much is known about old Shantideva, really. Okay. He came from obscurity to compose the way to Bodhisattva. And then he returned to obscurity. Like Leo, how do you really pronounce that? Leo Tuz. He wrote one of the greatest spiritual texts of all time. And then he just left. Beloved by Buddhists in many traditions, the way to Bodhisattva is a guide. It's dedicated to teaching us how to cultivate the mind of enlightenment, and has been studied and expounded on for centuries. It clearly outlines the path we must take to bodhisattvas, to work for the liberation of all beings, and is a classic of Mahayana texts. Okay, so it goes on here to say, now I'm going to have to skip some of that there, because it's a good amount of reading here, but I really want to go specifically to the point where, as they said, he was bullied. All right, okay. Shantideva calmly got on stage in front of 1,000 monks. Okay, really, what's happening here? Shantideva is considered to be another great mystic. Shantideva was said to have made the blind see using saliva, very similar to, you know, even the Christ figure. Now, although he was sometime after the original Nigger Jr., although he would have lived around the time of the second Nigger Jr., which makes some believe that he is actually who people consider Nigger Jr. around 600, 500 to 600 years CE. But anyway, this Shanti Diva, again, you know, one of the mystics, he was studying at a university, the University of Nalanda. And at this university now, the monks would refer to him as the lazy monk. For whatever reason, he seemed to just stay in his little area, and they never knew what he was doing. So they considered him the lazy monk. So they said, hey, listen, for anyone to be a monk around here, they have to come and teach. Because if they're not coming to teach, they can't be no monk, because they considered that he was just wasting time. They didn't see him coming out and praying or doing nothing that the other monks had to do. So they said, well, listen, man, this man is wasting our time around here. Let us, you know, kick him out. So they said that he had to come and present himself and give a lecture. And they did not expect that he had the ability to do that. So they set a throne for him, a very high throne. And it said that the day that he was to give the lecture, he just appeared and the throne was there. And then he sat on the throne and he began to speak. And he spake for hours. It says here, Shanti Deva talked for hours. He spoke in verse about cultivating the 6 perfections, about activating the mind of bodhisattva, or awakened the heart. He spoke about cooling the flames of ignorance, attachment, and aversion. And they were awestruck. That's the monks. All the monks from this university, they were shocked because they didn't expect that Shanti Deva had such an ability to be speaking in such a way. And interestingly now, according to some versions, listen to me, when he was speaking, as Shanti Deva was speaking, some of the ancient Buddhas or bodhisattvas appeared amongst him while he was speaking. You know, the Maitreya appeared while he was speaking. One known as Mariju Shri, he appeared right next to him while he was speaking. Now, when he ascended now, because what happened while he was speaking here, and he came to the 9th chapter, it is said that Shanti Deva began to ascend. He went up into the heavens. This is what the legend says. And as he was going up into the heavens, Nagarjuna appeared in the heavens. And Nagarjuna came and met Shanti Deva. Look at here, all the pictures here. Look, the rainbow here. You have rainbows with red up and you have some rainbows with red down. Interesting. But anyway, Nagarjuna came and appeared in front of all the monks. Remember, they were mocking Shanti Deva. They wanted to kick him out. And interesting, you know, Shanti Deva has a very interesting appearance, how he always appears with his head covered like this, you know. So Nagarjuna above him came and blessed him in the sight of all the monks that were below, observing what was taking place. Now, this is not my history. I didn't make it up. This is Buddhist history, and I would assume Hindu history to some degree, you know. So this is something to look into. This is how you read and comprehend the prophecy. Now, the good brother just said that the prophecy was set, that the Gautama Buddha shall return. And the Gautama Buddha, the Maitreya Buddha, shall return as Maruk Bull. You heard it there for yourself. He also said that he shall be called Negajuna, and he shall be a king, but he shall not only be a king, he shall be a priest, he shall be a prophet. I want to highlight something here for us now as we move forward. I'm showing you here the night of the Black Tiger. This is one of our full-length documentary, The Night of the Black Tiger. It's not on YouTube, not on Facebook, and none of that. Many of you would have had a copy of this. If you do not have a copy of The Night of the Black Tiger specifically, as I said, it's a full-length documentary. It's not a lecture, it's a documentary. Hear me, something that you would fully enjoy, going into the divinity of Emperor Haile, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. Yes, the Night of the Black Tiger, same thing, you know. And the same 3 1 and 1 and 3, eh? That's the vibe, really. But anyway, within the documentary, not just the Night of the Black Tiger, the documentary 7 and other things that we've done for sure, we go into the science of the cycle of the sun, as you can see here. Now, the science of the cycle of the sun, just to simply go through this quickly, has a lot to do with the feathered snake. As the brother was mentioning again on documentary, he was speaking about the genie. He was speaking about this child is real little and needed. I just had to pick it up and look at it, real little and needed. He was speaking about the genie. He was speaking about the dragon. He was speaking about the serpent. Now, the serpent now, of course, as you know, Quetzalcoatl is a feathered snake. This is something we speak of all the time. And the science of the feathered snake is really the science of the sun, you know, the cycle of the sun. And the cycle of the sun, of course, you know, the electromagnetic field line of the sun, the equator electromagnetic field line of the sun rotates once every 26 days, while the polar electromagnetic field line of the sun rotates once every 37 days. And, you know, within the, how is it? It's 87.5 days. Every 87.5 days, they collide. And because of this collision, you know, the field lines actually entangle and entwine themselves and eventually, you know, burst from under the surface of the sun to create what is known as sunspots. Of course, you know, that is extremely dynamic. And the fact that we have to highlight the sun is because of the position that the sun holds. Really, not just in the center of the solar system, but the sun, the symbol of the sun, is really the symbol of the life giver. This is why we always, you know, saw the sun as a symbol of God. Not that we ever worshiped the sun, but we understood the science of the sun. And this is why we used it in our esoteric expression. That's what it is. That's the type of people we are. You know, so what I like to highlight now is that what I just explained in a nutshell. When you study the sunspot cycle expressed on a computer graph, you know, you could see the similarity with how the formation of the snake with the feathers look, the feathered snake. And this is why the feathered snake has always been seen as the symbol of the science of the sun for thousands of years, way before a computer graph gave you the same similar expression. That is very deep. That's very deep. So you just got to give respect to the feathered snakers, straight up. You know, you got to at least listen to what they have to say, because they understood the science, albeit some of them borrowed it, but the origin of it obviously understood a science that took others thousands of years to follow up on, for the computer to come and say, hey, it really looks like a snake with feathers, doesn't it, Bill? Yeah, but we were showing you that a long time ago, you know, so respect us, you know. So the vibes I'm showing you now, that the feathered snake, we see it in our culture. This is a feathered snake here. They're the ones that said he was a feathered snake. Lord Pakal, 720 AD. They're the ones that said he was a feathered snake. And they proved it in this mask that they put together. To me, a very phenomenal and dynamic work of art, when you could take the science of the mask. You know the science when you take a photocopy of the mask, a transparent photocopy of the mask, and mirror it. That means turn it around because it's transparent. So you get the mirror copy, transparent copy of the mask. So you have two copies of the mask, the original copy and the transparent mirror copy of the mask. And you use the two copies and you play with it as such, as you can see here. This is the mask where the nose is You see the nose, this is the two masks together, and the nose come and form the wings. The nose bridge, form the wings, you see? The nose and the nose bridge. And if you see it here, this is two masks together. Yes, the transparent, so you can look right through it and see the other mask. And because of the way that the mask has been set up with the different bits of beads, it's designed scientifically that when you do this, you get the snake. See the snake here with the wings. This is just to prove to you that the individual wearing the mask is the feathered snake, the snake with the wings. And remember, this is, you know, almost 2,000 years ago. And so obviously these people would have understood this. They would have had understood this to even come. And the fact that they could do this with the mask, you know, because the mask did not come with instructions. It took people thousands of years after to figure this out. So that alone shows you that they were on another level, without a doubt, to show you this. So they understood, and I would rock with these people here. I don't know who you rocking with, Matthew, Mark, well, it's up to you. I would rock with these people here. I'm telling you, if somebody else, if Matthew, Mark, Luke, whoever is saying what they're saying, I'm going to rock with them too. Because that's why the Christ said, just like Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so I am lifted up at this time. It's the same thing. The feathered snake, the snake with wings. Look at this power here now. So when you understand this now, when you understand this, because this is very deep, this is the same mask. And the same mask is highlighting Lord Pakal. This is Lord Pakal here. This is the Buddha, and this is Tutankhamun. Because of time, we're not gonna, you know, give you a chance to figure it out. We just telling you how it is. We covered this so many times. You could see here the Tutankhamun figure. Actually, when you look in the mask here, you got the mask of Lord Pakal. This is Lord Pakal himself. This is the Buddha. I hope I'm not going too fast. And this is Tutankhamun here. That's why when you look here, this is Tutankhamun, the king of Kemet, that had both bird and the snake bird and snake, the feathered snake. And you could see him here. He looks just like the person in the mask, because it is him. Because all three of these people that are seen now in this rendition of the mask have a connection with each other. All of them are feathered snake. Lord Pakal, all of them represents the snake with wings, the cycle of the sun. As we said before, Tutankhamun, his wet nurse, her name was Maya, the individual that built his burial complex, very famous burial complex. His name was Maya. So at the beginning of his life and at the end, you had Maya at the beginning, Maya at the end. The Buddha, his mother's name was Maya, Maya Diva. And Lord Pakal, he's the king of the Mayan people. So you can see that there's a link between these three people here. Lord Pakal, the Buddha, and Tutankhamun. We know for sure that the Tutankhamun is a living being, a literal king of Kemet. Lord Pakal as well, of the ancient main kingdom as well. So this to me just shows you that the squatting Buddha, the same squatting Buddha here in front, represents the Naga people. And that is why the pictures that you see on Angkor Thom in Angkor is similar to the Olmec face, because they're the same people. All right. See, Tutankhamun, all right. Now, the same mask, many of you who have seen the documentary 7, as well as the Night of the Black Tiger, you will know that this is the same mask turned upside down. This is what we just looked at here, turned the other way around. So we didn't dismantle it and put it back together, because the mask has so many different things. There's so many features in the mask. Even these features you're looking at here, there's still other things around it, all here and there, but to go into it. But what I'm saying now, you see 3 main figures appear again, and you see the Olmec face, you see the ancient man with the beard and no locks, plus you see the man with the locks and the beard. All right, this is something that we highlight for sure. The man with the locks and the beard here is the same Buddha. How do you know that? Because the Buddha is sitting down in front of the mouth of Lord Pakal. This is Lord Pakal, who represents the Olmec people. Remember, this is in Olmec kingdom. This is the man. Okay, so Lord Pakal represents the Olmec people. He has on the helmet here. This is the lotus flower. And the Buddha is sitting down, squatting in front of his mouth, like the word of God, his mouth. Okay, when the mask is turned upside down, Lord Pakal becomes this ancient, this general looking Olmec here. You can see the Olmec, look at his eyes, and you see his helmet. It's the same Lord Packer, because in front of his mouth is the same Buddha, but the Buddha looks a bit different now. The Buddha has long hair and a little beard here. Yeah, the Buddha has locks and beard. But that's the science. The man just showed you in the documentary we were watching. You know, remember, he just showed you the banyan tree coming down and covering the Buddha face. It was a prophecy showing you that the Buddha shall return with locks and beard. I'm going to show you all of that though. So the science is now, if you've seen the documentary 7, if you've seen the Night of the Black Tiger, I clearly tell you that this Olmec here is Marcus Garvey. This one here is Marcus Garvey. The ancient man with the beard and no locks is Haile Selassie I. And the Buddha here that was in front of the mouth of the Lord Pakal, which is now the man with locks and beard, is King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. That is my rendition and my outlook of this here. This is obvious. You may say, no, I don't believe that. Well, yeah, remember you just checking this out maybe for the first time. This here it's obvious, eh? It's obvious. Can't run from it. It's obvious because you must respect this mask. You must respect the origin and the understanding of it, and those who put it together to clearly show you what they're trying to say. Look at that feathered snake, the science of the sun. So you have to respect. They know something we don't understand, and they're showing you 3 figures that you can point out: Lord Pakal, the man with the mask, the Buddha, and Tutankhamun. We can clearly see that. Then they flip the mask upside down for you and show you 3 other figures in the future that are related to the 3 that we just saw. Go and check the documentary 7. It's on YouTube too. 7, where we prove to you that Tutankhamun is Haile Selassie. That's why Haile Selassie appears here in the helmet of the Olmec, where we prove that Lord Packer is specifically the Olmec man, and that is proven also in the Night of the Black Tiger. And we've done this program several times. You just go on the YouTube, all of that is there for sure. And again, the Buddha disappeared, but a man with long hair and beard appeared, showing you again the Buddha returning with the locks. And it's 3 of them. 3 of them. And even if you don't see it like how I see it, you know, you should at least be honest in respect of ancient culture. Okay, you don't see it like me, but be honest, especially if it's the first time, or if it's not the first time, but at least this idea you heard it from me. At least be honest to say, well, listen, I don't believe it's Emmanuel and Marcus and Selassie, but you know, it's obvious that they portrayed 3 beings. It's obvious. You can't deny it. I mean, you just be dishonest to yourself to deny the anciency of this expression here. So the reason why I'm pushing it is because, number 1, you obviously saw the Buddha. The Buddha is a part of it. That's for sure. And this is in Central America, amongst the main Indians, as they call them. The Buddha is a part of it. Okay, and the black man is there. This is definitely the Olmec that look like Marcus Garvey, and the Buddha is now the man with the locks and the beard. All right, so this you see the same squatting position. But what I am highlighting here to you is that this concept of the Buddha specifically, the Buddha returning in 3, again, it's not my makeup philosophy there. That's really what it is. So this is why even when the good brother was speaking of that return Buddha, yes, he's correct. But this science has always seen the Buddha returning as a king and as a priest and as a seer. And I will repeat again, that's not my philosophy. This is not a Bobo Shanti seed. This ain't no Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. This is the ancient tradition that these people have, which is again an African tradition. That's my point. Remember, I showed you even in Kemet, we had Asar, we had Sokar, and we had Ptah. That is one deity. That is one God as such that we had. There you see the Trinity again, you know, of the ancient Buddhist tradition. This is the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. A lot of us like to say, oh, the king is the Ethiopian Orthodox. Okay, wait. This is how the Ethiopian Orthodox Church highlight the creator and the sustainer in the Trinity form. Hey, look, we can jump high and jump low. So there you see the Olmec head, the Marcus Garvey figure there. The Olmec head, that's the same Olmec figure that you see in the mask. See it there? The eyes and the helmet. If you look good, you could see it's the same Olmec figure, the eyes, the helmet, and the Tutankhamun returns as an ancient man. And he's right in the center of his helmet there. So that's a deep science for us to unravel, but it has been unraveled already. And again, you look at Marcus Messiah Garvey, you see the Olmec there. Yeah, man. Wonderful documentary. Where's it? The Night of the Black Tiger. All right. So where we are here now, let's follow this good. So the brother was speaking of the Bayon temple in Angkor. And you can see the beautiful, you know, sculptures. These look like in the Transformers, for those who have ever watched the Transformers, they used to have this four-headed beast that turn his head and you see the next head and it four-faced, one head, four-faced, one head, you know. And in fact, I think it is Brahma. Brahma is the god with the four heads.
Yeah.
Brahma. So you could also say that he represents the Brahma figure. But anyway, sometimes three heads, okay. So what I'm saying here is, as the good brother said before, this is the African outlook we're dealing with here again. And there's a science here. Nature is a part of this science. This is the temple, Angkor Thom. You have Angkor Wat. And interestingly, Angkor Thom sounds like Uncle Tom. And interestingly, they say that the god of Buddhism is Sambo. And of course, you know, Sambo and Uncle Tom go hand in hand, interestingly. But anyway, this city, the Bayon, which is said that the Christ or the Buddha shall return and build the Bayon again, the city of silver, the city of Maruk Bull, you know, according to the prophecy. But this is the ancient Bayon here, just like you have ancient Anu and modern Anu, you have the ancient Bayon and you have the modern Bayon. So as we speak of Heliopolis, the ancient Anu or ancient Heliopolis, you have modern Anu, modern Heliopolis in Antigua, the book Anu. If you haven't read the book Anu, you should get a copy of the book Anu. It's in ebook fashion. And of course, you could definitely check it on Amazon as well. So the same thing with the Bayon. I hope I'm not going too fast, but we got to get everything out here. The Bayon now, the ancient Bayon, Angkor Thom in Cambodia. Cambodia is where we are here, in the jungles of Cambodia, is now a symbol of a modern Bayon, of a city of silver that will be built by the Maruk Bull, the same Maruk Bull that shall be coming with the Gautama Buddha, the Nagarjuna. Because remember, we done show you that we're dealing with a science of three Buddhas stepping into this, just like all the ancient traditions. All right. But for centuries, they say the city has been lost. The city has been lost in the jungle, under the mystic tree, the banyan tree, all of these trees, the bayon, the names, the bayon, the banyan, the bodhi, the bobo, because you know the Buddha got his enlightenment under the bo tree, also known by some as the bobo tree. The Buddha got his enlightenment under the bobo tree, some say bodhi tree, but I'm just telling you what I've read, eh? All right. Now, So when the trees came down, these trees, these mystic trees, the roots from the trees would come down and cover the statues and cover the faces, the Olmec looking faces in Cambodia on the temples at Angkor, and give this impression as if the statues have now grown locks. Remember, the Buddha shall return with locks. The mask already show you this, of Lord Pakal already show you that the Buddha, the figure that is in front of the mouth of Lord Pakal, that figure in front of the mouth, the Buddha, when you observe the movements thereof, that figure returns now as a man with long hair, but the long hair is locks. That is why the Buddha pictures now in this future time, because remember, we're looking to deal with the future beyond. Here is the Buddha figure seen with what we would call roots. In fact, we actually call locks roots. Look at him there, man. Look like Bona G's or one of them elder there with them kind of heavy bongo coming down there. So this is just nature partaking of the prophecy of reality that the Buddha, according to the mask of Lord Pakal, shall return with locks. And look at right there. Even some of the smaller statues get caught up with the roots and come as if they're returning with locks. That is the Rasta man. So really now, what is happening here is something serious. So let me get this straight now. So the brother says that according to the mandala of two parts, that the Buddha shall return in this tripartite year, 1930, 1960, or 1990. Now, it was 1990 yet when he did the documentary, so he was assuming, according to him and the writer of the book, that, hey, let's look for the Buddha to return. Nagarjuna will return in 1990. In fact, to be more specific, it was the first year after the tripartite year. So it's 1931, 61, or 91. Now, Charles Finch, man, give enough respect to brother Charles Finch, one of our great scholars. In this lecture that he does, and we have highlighted that lecture too, where he highlights the cosmic king and the coming cosmic age. He highlights the movement of the pole star from Polaris to the pole star in Cephas. And he considers Cephas, the coming of the Cephas king is coming into the age of the Ethiopian king. And brother Charles Finch, pardon me, not a Rasta man, I don't think so at all, but he highlights three events that he says he believes are symbolic to the new age of the coming of the Ethiopian king. One is the coronation of Haile Selassie I in 1930. The other is the Million Man March by the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. And the third is the inauguration of Barack Obama to be the president of the United States of America. Now, for sure, again, the coronation of Haile Selassie I, for sure, that is it. That is it. I do not see the Million Man March. I do not see the inauguration of Barack Obama in the scope of the coming forth of the age of the cosmic king. I mean, both events have their own part to play. Wherever it's played, give thanks. But what we're talking about here is some serious business. Again, I mean, hey, yeah. But the crowning of Haile Selassie I in 1930, the coronation of the emperor in 1931, 1930. Without going into the full detail, man, you know what's going on. Fulfillment of prophecy. Fulfillment of prophecy seen in history. 17 nations coming and bowing, colonial nations as well, to salute the African king. Deep, deep stuff. So understanding that science, that is the tripartite idea. Remember, he was crowned Nega, Negus Negast. The Nega is, remember, we're looking for Nega Juna. So Nega Juna is supposed to return in 1930, 60, or 90. In 1930, Negus Negas was crowned. That's the Nega Juna, because it's the same people. Because Nega Juna is supposed to return as a king. Nobody can tell me that Haile Selassie doesn't encapsulate the Buddha spirit, the anointed spirit, the fullness of the calm spirit. It's obvious if there was a Buddha, that's him. You check it. So this prophecy of the Nega Juna returning is Haile Selassie. And if you want to be more specific again, the prophecy did say the tripartite year, but it mentioned a year after. So it will take you to 1931, which still stands out because that's the year that Haile Selassie brought forward the first written constitution for the Ethiopian people. And as we said in 7, it was a great hoorah. Yeah, so it's a very important point. So I'm saying that Maitreya Buddha that is to return, the Nega Juna that is to return in the tripartite year. He was crowned in the tripartite year. He was crowned in 1930. And that's not an event that you could equate with no other event, not even the Million Man March, as great as it was, and not even the inauguration of Barack Obama. None of these things you can really compare with the dynamo of the coronation of Haile Selassie I and Waziri Empress Menen on the 2nd of November 1930, really going into 1931. You understand what I'm saying? So that is when the Buddha returned. Now, of course, there's more to it. Because the Buddha shall return. Remember, we just look at the mask, you know. Let's not pretend here. We just look at the mask. And the mask didn't have one person. And in fact, somebody coming back with locks and a lot of different things happening here. And even one that looked like Marcus Garvey too. What's going on with a helmet? So there's more to this. And if it's Buddha we're talking about, this one is saying 3 Buddhas to look for. This is showing you 3 Buddhas to look for. And the science of the 3, look, 3 Buddhas to look for. The science of the 3 is not something new that we're making up. It is just reality. All right. Bobo Shanti referred to the 21st day of April. That's my mother's birthday. So we've done this for the honor of the mother. If you didn't know, she's not with us in flesh. Give thanks. So the 21st of April is considered to be Abraham meet Melchizedek. So you hear Bobo Shanti greeting one another. Say, my Lord, do give thanks for Abraham meet Melchizedek, my Lord. Last year we did a program proving that this is the biblical Passover when God came over Egypt. And you had to have the lamb, the symbol of the lamb on the doorpost. We proved it. It's right there in Genesis. In fact, you could go back to Genesis, Exodus. You could go back to last year's 21st of April program and you'll see it. We clearly showed you, the Bible shows you that, you know, April the 1st month, 21st day after the 1st month, God passing over Egypt. And so it's there, 21st of April, God coming through Egypt, Jamaica, it's there. You know, and of course the greeting with the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards is there, as Bobo Shanti highlight, you know, the vibration with this being a highlight of our Congress as well, receiving the medal from the Honorable Haile Selassie the First. Remember, it was 31 elders that received gold medals. I think that's very symbolic. And gold medals mean you win out the race. Done win already. All, you know, I hope it's not a loose term they use. All the monks receive a gold medal. Thanks, so. Mama, you know, Day. Selassie, I. Yeah. This is chalice talk. Make sure you get your chalice, man. Wait, this spliff is still there smoking. Get chalice Rastafari. Maybe it's praises are given to Farai. Praises are given to Farai. It's not your chalice, it's not your herb. It's not even your water. It's Jah water and Jah herb. Sometimes it's one cup of water there. And man have to decide if who get in the water, the chalice, you. Chalice get the water, because God water. And some of you gonna say, what? How crazy this? Yeah, man, if I had time, we go into that in the scripture. In fact, we do that program already. David and libation. Go back and look at it. If you really want to learn, go back and look at it. Rastaman and libation, something like that. Just go on my YouTube channel and type in Rastafari and libation, and you get it. So get your chalwa, invest in your chalice and hold a nice proper meditation. It's a totally different spirit. And it's healthier too, without a doubt. So, yeah, 1966, the visitation of the Garden King, you know. Yeah, man, as they say in Egypt, Jamaica. As you know, I mean, as we just went through already, how grand it was, the gathering and everything. Big thing in Jamaica and such and such and such. Yeah, but what I was saying now is that what I would like to highlight, you know, in the reality again, even as Bobo Shanti, because as Bobo Shanti within Rastafari, we definitely highlight the divinity of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. Just like I cannot see a person say they're Rastafari without accepting the divinity of Emperor Haile Selassie first. I cannot see a person is a Bobo Shanti and they have not accepted the divinity of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, straight up. I see in modern times some Bobo Shanti kind of leading away from certain aspects of the divinity, but at least I know they still hold on to the divinity of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. I'm not going to try to explain the divinity at this moment. But here we have another figure that without a doubt would stand out again as a Buddha type of figure. Whether you believe or whether you think or whether you agree, we have a figure that stands out again as a Buddha type of figure, a guru type of figure, a Christ type of figure, a holy mankind type of figure. You know, I was listening to my brethren Ija Star the other day, and he had Brother Muta Baruka on the program with him. And Brother Muta Baruka was saying, well, you know, well, he was speaking of Brother God, Vernon Carrington of the 12 Tribe Movement. And he was saying, well, as all the leaders then, he eventually got corrupt. Now, that's interesting because, you know, as far as I know, there's no records as such where a one can say the Honorable King Emmanuel got corrupt. And of course, we know, you know, I mean, as they call him, Bunga Eddie was with us for a very long time. Man, all guessing how old he is and that. So there was nothing, you know, they have empresses that are still there up to today. You don't get no sort of foul report as it relates to the Black Christ in flesh or anything of the sort. So to say that, well, you know, all the elders and leadership and get corrupt, that is not something that is seen, at least in this situation here. So I'm just highlighting for sure, really, you know, that as it relates to the aspect of the Buddha sort of vibration, it is something that is real. You know what stands out also about this whole event here is that the 21st day of April is also Queen Elizabeth II born day. And interestingly, she was in Jamaica. I want to listen to me good. She was in Jamaica like a month before this. The greeting she got at the airport was nowhere close to what the king got. And she was in Jamaica from the 3rd of March to the 6th of March. Please, I want you all to listen to me good. She was in Jamaica from the 3rd of March to the 6th of March, 1966. When she was in Jamaica, and if you are Baba Shanti, you know this, and if you are around Baba Shanti, you would have heard of this. When she was in Jamaica, she received from the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards a red, white, and blue pouch. And within the pouch was the banners of the red, black, and green with the emblems thereof, the 5-point star, R, and lion symbol. Listen to me good. And the red, gold, and green with the same, the black 5-point star, R, and lion symbol. Now, hear this good, eh? When she received these emblems, she bowed. And she said in the parliament that there is a man in this land that no one is to molest, for in times to come, this man, shall be Lord over her law. Obviously, we would be speaking of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. So anyway, she left Jamaica again on the 6th of March. What is interesting now, you got to keep in mind, this isn't just some sort of religious rant trying to fit pieces into some puzzle to gratify some sort of belief. In fact, when it comes to this aspect of reality, this is diplomacy. The Honorable King Emmanuel would have written the Queen of England several times. Even our elders that have come on our program have said that to the audience. I don't mean bubble elders, some bingy come and explain. You know what I mean? Ras Flacco clearly tell you King Emmanuel is top #1 politician. You understand? And when my elder name that pass on there, elder, you know what I mean, Mama Baby I Kingman there. You know what I mean? Congo Rocky. And so we tell you, none of us fight for freedom and redemption like King Emmanuel, Bongo Eddie. You know, so it wasn't when the emperor met King Emmanuel, you know, it wasn't like, wow, you're gonna meet some Rasta man. And so he knew who the man was. He done received letter from the man already. This is what I'm trying to show the audience, that King Emmanuel is a diplomat. So there was a diplomatic connection there. So receiving the banners wasn't no joke. Receiving the red, gold, and green, and the red, black, and green wasn't a joke. Remember, that's the banner that Ghana rose. Just 9 years prior to all of this. 9 years before the visitation of the king. Ghana independence, which is the 6th of March. Ghana rose King Emmanuel banner. Anybody can tell me I lying? I would challenge anybody to tell me that I lying. Anyone in the world. Because before Ghana hoisted that banner, somebody else had it. It wasn't a country, it was a man. It was King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. The same red, gold, and green with the black 5-point star that one's trying to tell us we should discard. Imagine that. When we had that before anyone in the world. And Ghana, remember Ghana said it? Remember Kwame Nkrumah find the speech, he said it, that the independence of Ghana is symbolic to Jamaica. So technically, it was the Bobo Shanti banner that he rose, technically. Now you may say, I don't believe he get that from Emmanuel and them, and wherever he got it from. I ain't arguing that point with you. My point is, for sure, undisputed, King Emmanuel was flying that banner before. And not just flying it, you know. Remember, King Emmanuel is a diplomat. So even in his presentation, it would be letterhead with the same banner. Follow me. This is not religion. So even the emperor understood who the man was and understood the man's plight and at least understood his concern. Whether you believe the emperor is some sort of spiritual partner with him, or the father meeting the son, or Abraham meeting Melchizedek, whether you believe that or not, you don't, even if you say, hey, look, meaning and none of that, all right, you cannot deny. You cannot. You can't. Either you lie or you don't know what you're talking about. You can't deny the diplomatic position that Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards put himself in and where he was at this time. Yeah, straight. So when the Queen of England now got the banner, she understood what was going on. Remember, them is the same banners in it. That's the banner that she see replace her banner when Ghana got its independence, and Ghana is a key country. That's why she said, hey, there's somebody around here that y'all ain't supposed to mess with. And then Bobo Shanti will tell you that there were specific documents. That's why this is not hard to believe. Everything Bobo said now is like hard to believe now. But like they're making up story. That's why it's not hard to believe that documents were passed to the Jamaican government as it relates to King Emmanuel Charles. It's a document at Myrtle, what the place name? Myrtle, I can't remember the name of the place. Myrtle Bank Hotel, where they had the first United Nations conference. King Emmanuel Charles Edwards was proclaimed the champion of human rights. You have people in the United Nations, we can name it, Robert Crooks, and these ones which were official representatives from the United Nations that have written statements that were signed concerning Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards. This ain't no make-up thing, eh? So I don't know where some of us have this as if we're just making up this religious thing and trying to fit King Emmanuel here and fit this, and nobody fitted nothing. It is just what it is. Interestingly, when Elizabeth was flying out on the 9th day of March, that was the 6th day of March, pardon me. That was the 9th anniversary of Ghana getting its independence. Remember, Ghana is no joke, you know. Remember Ghana, the ancient Bobo kingdom of the Bobo Dijeni kingdom that was associated with the region, and the kingdom of the Ashanti, Bobo Dijeni and Shanti. You know, Bobo Dijeni and Shanti, Bobo Shanti, you don't know the links. So that kingdom, the ancient Bobo Shanti kingdom, when it got its independence, it rose the flag of the Bobo Shanti man in the West. And when the Queen of England was leaving Jamaica in '66 on the 6th of March, the day the plane taking off, that was the same day. That day was the 9th anniversary. She left Jamaica on Ghana's Independence Day. The 9th anniversary of Ghana Independence Day, the kingdom of the Bobo Shanti that rose the banner of the same man that she said, there's a man in this land. that no one is to molest, that them is the banner she received the night before. So, you know, make up tea. Think this is Alice in Wonderland? Yeah. I'm honored to be given the mandate, Rastafari, to defend the prophet, priest, and king. So let's get back to the big man prophecy now. So the king come in 1930, Nega Juna. Nega Juna come in 1930. The constitution set up in 1931. King Selassie is the Buddha. King Selassie is Nega Juna. So who is Maruf Bull now? And Maruf Bull is a title given to Shanti Diva. So who is Shanti Diva? Interesting names to it. Interesting names. Nega Juna is Negusa Negas. Shanti Diva is, I wonder who that could be. Because Shanti Diva now, even as we showed you Shanti Diva here, Shanti Diva, his head is always covered. Shanti Diva is a king now, but he preferred to be a monk. And somehow the other monks had a little problem with Shanti Diva. Bongo wisely say, King Emmanuel was lighting candle on the altar. And the man didn't, at first I hear that. But Shanti don't even burn candle. Well, them seeing there that they were talking about. But anyway, the monks said that, hey, we gotta kick Shanti Diva out. That's what the story says. I'm not making it up. And they said, listen, we can't just kick him out, so let us try him. Let him come and give us a lecture. And they said when he come out, boy, and he started to give the lecture, they were stung. They said, wow. They saw one of the ancient Bodhisattva standing next to him. That's the one, Mari Jusha, standing there while he was reading. And they say when he reached to the 9th chapter, hey, listen, I kid you not. You read the story, they always speak of the 9th chapter. Remember, it was the 9th anniversary of Ghana independence. They say when he reached the 9th chapter, Shanti Diva began to levitate and go up in the air. Where do you believe he really did that? Remember, the way we map our tradition, including history, we just use allegory too. So Shanti Diva went up into the air. They say he was caught up into the clouds. Because remember, in the book of Daniel, when he talks about the Ancient of Days, which is Haile Selassie, and he said that all the thrones were cast down and the Ancient of Days did sit. It says one came. This is Daniel chapter 7, about verse 9. One came with the clouds of the heavens, and he was brought unto the Ancient of Days, and he was given dominion and power and a kingdom, just like the lamb that was brought unto the one that sat on the throne in Revelation. Is the same thing. Shanti Diva was taken up into the clouds. This is Indian history now, but it's Africa. Shanti Diva was, I'm going to soon let you go soon. We're almost there. Shanti Diva went up into the clouds. And then they saw Nega Juna coming down to meet Shanti Diva up in the clouds. And Nega Juna blessed Shanti Diva in the presence of all the monks in the clouds. Now, I don't think I'm hallucinating here. Maruk Bull is supposed to create a city And the name of this city is the Bayon. Maruk Bull is Shanti Diva. We just showed you that the Buddha got his inspiration under the Bo tree or the Bobo tree. Etymology is a serious thing, because we all know the Bobo Shanti headquarters is 9 miles. 9 miles. Bull Bay. Bull Bay. That's the name of the place. I didn't name the place. Bull Bay. Bay. The Bayon. The city that shall be built by Shanti Diva. Listen to me. The city that shall be built by Shanti Diva is called the Bayon, the city of Maruk Bull. Maruk Bull Bayon. Maruk Bull Bayon. Maruk Bull Bay. Bull Bayon. It's a city that Shanti shall build. The Bobo tree, Bobo Shanti, Bobo Dijeni in Ghana, the kingdom of the Ashanti people. So King Emmanuel now, we all know is who built Bobo Shanti Hill. 9 miles, Maruk Bull Bayon. We can't run from this. And when Shanti Diva now met Nega Juna, listen to me. When Shanti Diva met Nega Juna, it may not really have been up in the sky, but it was definitely amongst the other monks. And I'm not pulling nobody card, but you see for your own self that even when Bingi Flacco sat with me, I had to ask him, with this rich history that Prince Emmanuel have, why is it that nobody talk about him? And he laughed. And it's no disrespect to him, eh? He have to laugh, because he know. Boy, I don't know, boy, they really kept that buck with it. That's the truth. I don't hold nothing against no one, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Even all my elders around me here. It's the truth. They hide Prince Emmanuel from us. Listen, I ain't pulling up punches, eh? Listen. No, pulling punches or holding punches. Whatever the thing, I ain't playing around. There's nobody I can even think about. All the elders hide Emmanuel from us. Me? Nobody tell me nothing about no Emmanuel. Nobody. No Bingi elder. Nobody have nothing to say about Prince Emmanuel. The man that have the first Naya Bingi in 1958. But we should be ashamed. Shame, shame, shame. Shame. Why you have to hide so? But you see, the monks conspired against Shanti Diva. The monks conspired against Shanti Diva until Nega Juna came. Till Nega Juna came. And then after they still conspire more. Because he was taken up and he disappeared. And according to the legend, he went into southern India now and established his movement. How that sound to you? That's the same thing that the Honorable King Emmanuel Bobo Shanti did, and he went and established what? Maruk Bull Bayon. So Haile Selassie is Nega Juna, the Abraham that meet Shanti Diva, the high priest, the Melchizedek. And ones will argue that, oh, Haile Selassie is Melchizedek. I totally agree. Because that's what the prophecy says, that 2 Melchizedek shall be in this last time here. One in the east shall come and meet the other Melchizedek that shall be in the west, who was living in the hill for 7 full years. And we done show you that from the Bingi 58 to 66, we got 7 full years. Not the 7th year, but 7 full years. It's prophecy upon prophecy upon prophecy being fulfilled. Remember they say the Buddha is called the Mani. The Buddha is called the Mani. What they say they call King Emmanuel? Uncle Mani. Buddha is called the money. So it's right there and it's clear. So Haile Selassie is the return Nega Juna. The Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards is the return Baruch Bull, the Shanti Diva. It is him. It's undeniable. They're there. The power of the Gautama, Maitreya Buddha, and still Marcus Garvey in the midst of it. It's obvious that the Olmec is them faces that you see in Anchor Thumb. Yeah, the Sambo, the Holy 3 in 1 and the 1 in 3. So it's aligning perfectly, as I said, even with this, what you would refer to as celebration for the 21st day of April 1966. Even again, as Bobo Shanti, as we would say, Abraham meet Melchizedek. That is how it is termed as, So be not ashamed, my brothers and sisters. It is our vibration, it is our order, it is our tradition, that has been borrowed. So even when ones are arguing that Rastafari got locks from the Indians and all of that, no. Give thanks, that they would have carried on the tradition. But this is an African tradition here that has definitely been taught, to these people for sure. Wonderful vibration, my brothers and sisters. So I'm just encouraging you again, for sure, if you were not with us on Saturday evening, and as I said, my brothers and sisters who were there, you could just let the family understand, what they really missed. I really would like you to still take a look at it. The date has passed, but for sure, it's still available. I'm talking about Chalice in Wonderland. You could still see it for a limited time. You could still contact us via the email, or you could send the cash app and then contact us and we send you the link right away. So obviously you won't be in no waiting room. You could just watch it right away because it's already been done. Chalice in Wonderland. And of course, hey, listen, man, subscribe to the Shock of the Hour. If you subscribe to the Shock of the Hour, you don't even have to specifically get no ticket to watch Chalice in Wonderland. You will definitely get that as a part of the package if you just ask for it, because you are a subscriber to the Shock of the Hour radio program. And of course, encouraging you again to get your chalwa, your chalice, different size and different variety and different status and calabash and the coconut and etc. I'm definitely encouraging you to get your chalwa for better meditation. This is a chalice revolution that we are on here. So give thanks for all those who have patronized such. And at the same time, just encouraging you, if you definitely want a good read, you got to check our books. They are now on Amazon. And for sure, if you don't want to check the Amazon, I don't blame you. You can check me and we will send you the books right away. I'm talking about PDF style. Yeah. Wonderful, presentation this evening. Give thanks for the life giver and the keeper of life. Give thanks for ancient African tradition in different ways and different forms. Yeah, blessed be the name of the Most High God. Heart of celebration in the house of Israel. Emmanuel, Haile Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, blessed Lord, Prince. Chalice Star.